Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight and listening to my speech. I appreciate you taking the time. Tonight's subject is very serious and it is very controversial. It's a hot topic for sure. Tonight I'm going to be speaking about physician-assisted suicide. And that has gotten a really bad rap in the medical community as well as in the church community. So tonight I want to go over some of the reasons that I support physician-assisted suicide. As a cancer survivor myself and a healthcare provider, I have a unique ability to understand both sides of this equation. Firstly, let's talk about what happens for a patient and why they deserve the right to have autonomy over their own bodies. Autonomy simply means having the right to choose what happens to your body. That is the biggest thing for me as far as being a patient. I have the right to decide what happens to me. If I'm mentally competent and I've explored every option and we've done every type of care that is imaginable, I've got second opinions, even third opinions, and they're all the same. It's all the same conclusion. I should have the right to request from my physician help in ending my suffering. I think that's a very valid point and one that naysayers try to take away from the patient. And it doesn't really work out for anyone. Also, another positive is that it reduces the financial effects that it has on the family. It's very expensive, palliative care, hospice, and it can drag on, and it needs to be something that the families can continue to live afterwards. It's very difficult. Also, what kind of ramifications legally and ethically does it have on physicians and healthcare providers? Well, number one, if a physician is caught and prosecuted and convicted, they can go to prison and they can lose their license. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend all that time, effort, and money going to school to become a healthcare provider only to have it taken away because legislation is so behind the times. Also, the Hippocratic Oath, that's a huge argument for naysayers. First, do no harm. Well, what defines harm? Is it more harmful for a patient to suffer needlessly? And it isn't just a terminal illness. Let's think about not having control of your own body, not being able to control your bowels, wasting away, not being able to keep food down, involuntary vomiting. There are all kinds of terms, for lack of a better word, that would suggest a patient needs to end their life, needs to end the suffering in a humane way, in a controlled way, instead of having to go out and seek a volatile or violent end. I think patients should be able to go to their physician whom they've built up trust and request this without the ramification of, being labeled someone who is incompetent or made the wrong decision. And doctors should be able to do this for their patients. It's mercy, it's not murder. Lastly, I'd like to talk about how it affects the families in a positive manner. It saves the patient and family from experiencing further pain. This is a painful time already. It's compounded when you're trying to figure out who's going to go see Grandma tonight. What if I leave? What if she passes? What if she needs me? It's a drain on the family, and it makes the patient feel like a burden. Also, it gives the families the opportunity to say goodbye. I don't know about you, but I have had loved ones pass away, and I didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye. When you have a plan, and everyone's in agreement, and you've talked about it, and in most cases prayed about it, yes, then you have this sense of closure, and you can move on. It just makes it not easier, but easier for the patient and the family to accept what's to come. It also allows the healing process to begin before before the patient is even gone, which is good for everyone. Lastly, I want to say that physician-assisted suicide is not doctors becoming killers. I want to read a quote here from Peter Rogatz, MD and PH, in which he says, physician-assisted suicide is not about doctors becoming killers. It is about patients whose suffering we cannot relieve, and about not turning away from them when they ask for help. That, to me, is the best definition for physician-assisted suicide, and the biggest reason why it should be legalized in more than simply Oregon and Washington State. That concludes my speech, and I appreciate everyone being here tonight, and have a good night.